I want to share something that has been coming up for me. And I had a huge aha moment today. So I'm going to share it and kind of work through it in real time because, we're besties over here. Hey, I'm Lacie Jaye, and this is Hey Lacie Jaye, the podcast where we like to take a whole ass approach to life. Today, I want to talk about human design, gene keys, and something that came up for me within the gift 14 in both of those. In human design, when you get your chart, you have numbers on your chart, and within those numbers, if they're highlighted, those are considered gifts. And then in gene keys, which is all about hexagrams, and it goes to the I Ching, it takes the I Ching, and it's the 64 hexagrams, which are also correlated with the 64 codons in our DNA. To me, it's mind-blowing. I love it. I'm not going to go super into it today, but I had some aha moments, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is really exciting. So you might not have gift 14 highlighted in your human design, and you may not actually have gift 14 in your gene key map. Can't even remember what it's called right now. I'm also not a professional. In gene keys, they always say everyone has all 64 hexagrams, but if they're highlighted in your chart, it means something more. Like, it's definitely something to take a look at. The beauty of the gift in human design is that it's this like, here's a gift that you have and here's how you can unlock it. And it's just this, it's a beautiful thing. What I love about gene keys is that it actually takes a shadow that you have to work with and work through to be able to see the gift within that gene key. And so it's a lot more inner work. I would say it's a lot more diving deep. It's a lot more going within. It's a lot more really thinking through things. And that's something personally that I love and thrive off of. Again, if you don't have it, there is still so many gold nuggets that you can pick out of this, and just like life lessons in general. So you don't have to have it to listen to this episode. I just wanted to put that out there. In July, I quit my job. Terrifying decision, yet I knew it was the right decision because as a generator in human design, I have to do what lights me up. And if I'm going to coach and teach human design, this was my next step of saying, this is no longer lighting me up. I'm going to take a huge leap of faith and I'm going to quit something that is no longer lighting me up to go in search of something that is lighting me up. That was something for months that I knew I needed to do, and I finally got to the point where it was time to go. It was actually more of my body saying, it's time to go, because I started getting vertigo. I started not feeling well, and my body started shutting down. Over the last few months, it's August 29th as of the recording. Since June 1st, I've really been on the search of, like, what is my purpose? What am I doing? Who am I here to be? I know what I love talking about. I know what I love doing, but I feel like I should do this. I was inspired to do this, but I also had the fear come in because I didn't take the action, which was the episode that we talked about last week of when you get inspired to motivate you to take the action, don't take too much time, because that's where you become a slave to fear. And that right there has changed so much for me because it's needing to take action, which has brought me to gene key 14 and gift 14 within my human design. As a generator, people want my sparkly energy around them, especially when I'm lit up. I light other people up. In this, I have noticed that I've always seen these gifts in people. When they have an idea, I'm going to be your number one cheerleader. I see it. As long as I see the vision and I see what you're trying to do, I literally see how your gift is going to impact the world and how it needs to be put out in the world, because it's going to start changing lives. I started getting frustrated with this though, because here I am building everyone else's business or building their dreams, but I'm not building Lacie's dreams. What am I here to do? what am I doing wrong? I see everyone else's vision. I see people's dreams. I can get on board with them. And then I see yours, and I'm going to help promote you, and I'm going to run for it. I'm going to share it, and I'm going to be like, everyone needs to hear your story. And as I've sat with this, I've realized this has been a large part of my life. And I've said, if I could just get paid to be a cheerleader, I'd probably have the best job in the entire world, because I get to cheer you on. I get to see you be successful. I get to see you run so hard after your dreams. And that right there is the best feeling ever. But it's not paying my bills. And so I've had this like, why can I see other people's visions and dreams, but I cannot pursue my own? With that, I have a disclaimer. In the past, in my shadow, or in a place where I didn't know who I was at all, I was not confident in who Lacie was, I would see someone's dream, and instead of encouraging them to build their dream, I would attach myself to their dream, and their dream became my dream, even though it was not my dream, right? So there's this boundary of, let me immerse myself into your world, and let me help you and inspire you and see what your creation is to put out into the world, and then it's yours. And then I'm going to go over here and do that same thing with someone else. I hope that makes sense. So, starting to see this gift over the last week or so, I have had this idea that I'm really great at seeing this vision for other people. And then I've had multiple people tell me this. And so when I start to hear things over and over and over again, that is a sign that I need to really look into this and take a moment to figure out what the message is. I had someone tell me, hey, if you continue sending people to me because you are like out in the community, you're spreading my message and my words and my work and what I do, how can I give you a percentage, or how can I give you a kickback for this work that you are bringing to me? That happened. Then I go to a class. What is up with these balloons? Then I go to a class, and the words that came out of one of my favorite people's mouths said, Lacie, you're like our best PR girl. And I looked at her and I'm like, yes, I am. Because I believe in what you are doing. I believe in how you are helping women to understand and feel their bodies. I believe that what you are doing is unlocking women from their own personal health. How could I not share what you're doing? How could I not scream that to the mountains and beyond? Everyone needs to know what you're doing. And so what happened is, I remember seeing the gift. So I flip open to gift 14 in human design, and it is expanding what's good in others. And I'm like, of course that is. I help other people thrive at creating prosperity for them. And in doing this, it is also the surest route for creating abundance in my own life. I had to really sit with that, because I'm like, that's exactly what is happening. This is a gift that is naturally coming out, and I'm able to help other people in a way see their dreams and what they're doing become a reality. I will become most successful by devoting my life to helping create success for others, because that's what I'm good at. Hone in on a specific way to add value in others' lives, no matter how big or small, special or regular it sounds. Whatever you are good at increasing in others, do that. It could be their health, their wealth, their lifestyle, the system in which they sign a contract, or make their coffee. Each person with gift 14 has an affinity with a different area of contributing to a good life. The first time I wrote this, I said, cheerleader, like I am the best cheerleader out there. And that is the truth. Life will feel so much more fulfilling when expanding others' life experience is in front of the center of your intentions. So leaning in to this, the more I create success in others, the more I'll create success around me. And so it goes on to talk about like radiating power, and I love the word radiating. It goes to like how to unblock this gift. You've dreamed of big things from an early age, but often being a dreamer gets dismissed as naive or unrealistic. Oh, let me tell you, that's exactly what happened in my life. This stamps your gift out of you. The extent of which you feel disconnected to this gift is the extent to which you feel unconfident and unexcited about your own potential. Doubts and dispassion will kill this gift. My jaw dropped when I read that because I felt it in my soul. I knew without a doubt that this is such a big gift that is being flexed right now. And how do I help build other women up? This is why I want to bring more women and men on the Hey Lacie Jaye podcast so that I can share their story, so that I can get their message out there, so that I can help create abundance in their life. Because I know when I do that, I am so filled up to the core that I know that it attracts abundance in my own life. I read that, I could have stopped there, but I also know gene keys. And so I was curious, is gene key 14? Do I actually have that? And I do. And again, everyone technically has 14. It's just highlighted within my profile. And so with the gene keys, I wanted to look at the shadow. In gene keys, the shadow of gene key 14 is compromise. And I read that word and I knew exactly that is something that I have dealt with for the majority of my life. In fact, a lot of women that I talk with every single day have compromised who they are in their life, which means we can all probably relate to this, right? I'm not talking about compromising as, hey, instead of going for a hike, let's go to a movie and you just kind of have to figure that out. I'm talking about compromising who you are, the direction you're supposed to go, the things you're supposed to create because you didn't see your own uniqueness. You didn't believe in what you have inside of you. And it says, compromise is the byproduct of living without a sense of personal freedom. It implies a lack of imagination and an inability to believe in the power of your own uniqueness and individuality. How many times have you, and when I say you, I'm also talking to me, how many times have I looked at my life and I'm like, I'm really not that unique. I'm just me. Like, I'm just Lacie. I'm just here to work. I'm just going to always forever help other people build their businesses with my 9-to-5 job. Now I'm like, I'm going to help people build their businesses because I'm going to be their number one cheerleader and be their coach. And I'm going to see them be successful because when they need a cheerleader the most, when they have the doubts coming in, I'm going to remind them of who they are, whether that is taking my tools from Dream Life Coach Academy or if that is understanding their human design and how they energetically work in this world. In the Gene Key books, it says, whenever you compromise, you are settling for second best. And so you can never fully enjoy what you do in life. When you are compromising your life and doing something that is not meant to be something that you are doing, you're compromising. You'll never enjoy life because you're not doing what you're called to do. Again, last week's episode that we talk about this idea of never starting because of fear. And so you compromise and you do something else, or you start something else, or you go to work for a 9-to-5 that you absolutely hate, but it is just what it is, but you're compromising what you're actually supposed to be putting out in the world because of fear. Fear is such a bee. With compromise, it is often a very subtle thing at the beginning. It is not really about your action, but about your spirit. If you do something that you don't really like, but it is a stepping stone towards your dreams, then that will transform the way in which you do it. If, however, you do something that you don't like because society has in some way pressured you to do it, then you are on a slippery slope. That spoke so much to me. There have been so many times where I've taken jobs, where I've done things in my life because I knew that it was the stepping stone that I needed to get to the next place, to the next thing, so that I could grow into the human and the individual and this beautiful woman that I know I'm created to be. That is very different than saying, well, I'm doing this because I think I should, or because my parents told me I should. And I talk a lot about shoulds, especially in human design. because that is a slippery slope. The world is going to tell you to do a lot of different things. They're going to tell you the best way to have a social media strategy. That doesn't necessarily, that's your strategy. It doesn't mean that it doesn't work for people, but it's about coming home to yourself and understanding how you actually navigate the world, listening to your intuition so you know how you best make decisions. When you can do that, you cut out the noise of the shoulds. And I think that's where I'm kind of in this. I've compromised the majority of my life, but I've been slowly stepping out of the shadow and into the gift, which is competence. But I want to keep going because I have a couple highlights within this shadow from the Gene Keys book. Compromise cannot bring you prosperity because it makes you a follower rather than a creator. True prosperity emerges from doing what you are here to do rather than being simply another cog in the collective machine. That is huge. This is something that I've personally walked through for years. And that is, I don't want to just follow. I want to create. I want to take, for me personally, my life lessons that I have lived through. I want to take my story and I want to help at least one other woman not feel alone in their life. I want to create. I want to take these things and be reminded that I was created with unique gifts, with unique talents, and that I want those to shine instead of saying, well, it's just really not that big of a deal. In your shadow, what's called a repressive nature, which for this gene key is impotent, and then the reactive nature, which is enslaved. For me, I felt like the enslaved is more of what I deal with, and that is, this is a classic pattern in the world today. We see people working hard in jobs that are not really right for them in an attempt to prove to themselves and others that they are special. If you are doing a job that you are meant to be doing and you are in the right position that feels really good, life is going to be incredible. You are not going to be enslaved. You are literally living out something that you are called to do. You can take your gifts and you can apply that into your job. But so many people are in jobs that they literally hate and that are sucking the soul out of them, but they're afraid to move. They're afraid to do something else. They're afraid to apply for a different job. Well, for one, because we were told somewhere along the way that we need to be in a job for over the next 40 years or until we can retire. And then from there, we get to start living our life. And that is where I think human design plays a major role in my life and so many others, that when you start to understand how you work, you can go apply for a job that you actually enjoy, especially if you have to still make money, especially if, you have bills to be paid. Here's the thing. When you take on a job that you are enslaved to, that you actually do not like at all, you can get all the recognition in the world and it is never going to fill your cup because it's not a job for you. You could get all of the praise and how amazing you're doing, and you're like, that's great, my soul's being sucked out of me, I freaking hate this. What I have experienced in my own life over the years is that it will show your insecurities and it's going to show rage. That's kind of what the book says. That's something that I have lived. You start to get frustrated. You start to have all these insecurities and they will start to show because you cannot shove things down. At some point, they are going to come out in one way or another. That's just something I want to share with the shadow. Now moving into the gift, because I have lived the shadow, I'm really going to sit with it. Where am I still compromising in my own personal life? I know that I'm compromising in many areas because just the other day I wrote out I have these massive Post-it notes on my wall right here, so I'm looking at it. I was reading one of my other gene keys and it kept talking about your life should be effortless magic. Instead of me trying to work my butt off and trudge my way, I'm going to get this done and I don't care how I get it done, but I'm going to get it done. That's actually not how I'm supposed to live. And so when I started writing down oh, I want to create this, or I want this type of home, or I want this kind of car. Obviously, those are more materialistic things, but I've realized in that how much I've compromised the life that I'm living now. And that's why I am where I'm at. And so I'm still working through this shadow. And honestly, it might replay multiple times, like coming back through in different areas of my life as it's revealed. I'm like, oh, that's where I'm compromising. Okay, let's move through it and let's get to the gift. So the gift is competence, which is a fire in the belly. I think we know that idea of what that feels like when you are lit up and you just have that fire. Competence carries within its efficiency, enthusiasm, flair, and flexibility the 4 keys to material success. The 14th gift is the main ingredient of any successful business venture or team. The enthusiasm that comes from this gift is the binding force that creates cohesion within groups. So I love that. Like, you're not literally, you're meant to do groups. You're meant to be on a team. You're meant to help. We are often the driving force that can implement a particular vision or idea. Theirs is the gift of rousing the team spirit that is necessary to get an idea off the paper and into the world. And that right there is where I'm realizing this gift 14 is showing up in my life. The more I've stepped into my more authentic self, the more I'm starting to see this naturally show up. I am saying, hey, let's sit down. What is it that you have? What do you have going on in your life? And how can we make that happen for you? How can I give you my energy? How can I just inspire you? How can I help you take action so that you are living the life that you have dreamed of? Oh, it is so incredible when you get the chance to sit down with other women and seeing them succeed. It says it will work best within small team. Whether you are the leader of the team does not matter. The only thing that matters is that your unique capacities are respected. They invite you in. You get to share your gifts and the vision that you have for them, which really for me is like a download that's just for them. Like, it's not me, it's just the download and what I see for them. The gift 14 is also the power of attraction. Competence creates a powerful magnetic field and is not only draws in the right support, but will also have the ability to magnetize material wealth. Sign me up, okay? I am sick of living paycheck to paycheck. Let's just put that out there. I'm ready to live my life and use my gifts, doing it so that I wake up every single day super excited. The more I am stepping into this gift, I am magnetizing. I am feeling like things are happening that I can't really explain except for that they're just happening. And it is so fun. Almost every day I wake up super excited to see what happens next. And the more I talk with people about their goals and their dreams and their vision and what they're doing, the more the fire is lit inside of me, which is that gift of expanding what's good in others. It is literally what we're meant to do. Competence is unafraid of success, empower, and radiates confidence and assuredness wherever it goes. The fact that it literally says radiating confidence is absolutely crazy. Those exact words were given to me in 2020. It was to help other women radiate confidence in who they were. At the time, it was through skincare. Like, I want you to radiate confidence in who you are. Bare skin, like being able to step into the world. This is totally coming to me right now. Step into the world exactly how you are with zero mask on, right? Zero makeup. Just the most authentic version of you. That's probably the heartbeat behind radiating confidence. And so the fact that those words were in there blew my mind. And I'm all about synchronicities. In fact, I do a meditation from Joe Dispenza called Tuning Into Your New Potential. And one of the things at the end of the meditation is I want synchronicities. I call that in because to me, that is saying things are working. Gift 14, you release a certain aroma through your DNA that soon makes you the backbone and mainstay of any family or team. No wonder I have felt like life has not been happening. Why? Because I haven't fully stepped into this gift. Part of that is my own fear and my own conditioning that women are not meant to be this force. I was afraid to be too loud. I'm afraid to be too upfront. I'm afraid to use my voice. I have fear around all of this because back in the day, Lacie was told she wears the pants in her relationship. And here it is, like one of my gifts is truly being a mainstay, like the backbone of my family or the team or the person that I am working with. I'm going to show you the vision. I'm going to show you the goals. I'm going to show you what you have and the magic inside of you. It is so worth working through the shadow, which can be really hard because you have to take full responsibility of your life and where that's showing up. And you have to be like, dang, that is happening. Oh, shoot, I am showing up in this capacity. If you want change, you take that responsibility and then you move that into the gift. And what I can tell you is any gift within the gene keys, within human design, the more you step into who you are and you take ownership of the places that you've jacked up and you're not being yourself, the more life gets so exciting. It gets like a flow. Like it is so fun, and you go to bed and you're like, I can't wait to wake up tomorrow. It's like, can't wait to see where we go. Like what new, fun, exciting adventures are going to be coming my way. Versus when you're living like a victim and the whole world is ending, you're like, I freaking hate life. I have anxiety. I haven't slept in weeks, which was me last year. Living in pure anxiety and now being able to switch over to this like life is exciting. Not that I haven't had these dips, right? Because depending on where you're at in life and how many layers have been removed and where you're at, you are going to deal with the shadow. But don't be afraid of the shadow. Don't be afraid of saying, this is where I'm at, but this is where I'm going. And you get to see the gift. You can see this transformation and this shift that you have. If you go more into Gene Keys, it has something called the city. I'm not going to go into that today. I just wanted to share that because I know that I'm called to share my journey. I'm called to share what's going on in my life because I truly know without a shadow of my doubt that when I do that, when I show up and say, hey, here's where we're at, this is where I'm feeling sticky, this is what's happening, I am frustrated here and it's really amazing here, it helps you not feel so alone, or it helps inspire you. You can take the golden nuggets of some of my lessons and then apply them to your life. Life's so much more fun together. With that being said, in the show notes, I will have links to the books that I read from that I love. If you have questions or if you would like to work together in some capacity, helping you see your vision, seeing your dream come to life, please reach out to me. This is a gift that I have and I am so excited to start using it instead of saying, I help build everyone else's dreams and not my own. Because the more I step into that, the more that I know my dreams are coming true and the direction in life that I am moving towards actually is happening when I get to help you expand and do what you're called to do. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you found it helpful, please share on your social media, tag me, or share with a friend that may need to hear this. I am here to cheer you on, to see you live life to the fullest and to truly become who you've always been. Thank you so much. See you at the next episode.